Welcome to Dark Side Adventures, an 18 and older, not safe for work podcast where we explore the dark side of sex, the world of kink, fetish, and BDSM lifestyle.
I really do need some lock hair. Holy shit.
My hair's in a braid. It's not even flopping all over the place this time to headbang to.
Oh my god. Yo, Dark Side Adventures, episode 18, everybody. Welcome back. Like, I feel so at home right now. Oh my god. Regardless, let me start off, of course. Man, like, welcome our host, man. I am Edwin.
I'm Coco.
And welcome back to Dark Side Adventures. Happy National Cheese Fondue Day.
Yum.
God, when was the last time you had fondue?
Oh, it's been ages. I thought I was doing happiness with like a grilled cheese with the string that like pulled across like apart. That's what I had for dinner tonight, but fondue sounds so much better.
Yeah, instead of having to pull the cheese apart, you actually dip in the cheese.
Dip in the cheese.
Right.
Yes.
Man, we had there's a place out here. It wasn't actually like here, but it's called the Melting Pot. But,
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so they do cheese fondue, but they also do like chocolate fondue as well. I guess it's like a whole fondue place anyway. But whenever the National Cheese Fondue Day popped up, that's all I could think about. I was like, damn, I could have been still dipping in that cheese. Like,
yum.
Oh my god.
I want it so bad. Now I need to figure out what I need to get to make me some fake fondue.
Oh man, like I feel like there's so much that you have to catch up on. Like, bruh, how you been? Like,
crazy busy. I feel like I am forever running behind. Like I think the train left about 2 days ago. So I'm still trying. It's been super crazy. I think the last time we kind of were able to really record, Fire was here and he had just visited. He was here for just a couple days. And I just have been running ever since. Oh, I can show it to you. The readers. Why do I always call y'all readers? The listeners don't get to see, but I got this big, I don't know if you can see. Oh, drop the microphone.
Oh no.
There's like a big to-do list over there on my wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it is now color-coded with all of my to-dos. But yeah, so it is now color-coded and that is only half of what I have to catch up on.
But that's good though. I mean, visualization so you can actually see, so you don't forget. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it makes a difference. What have you been up to, Edwin? Since I haven't been on, I feel like we just haven't talked.
I know. Actually,
you got a new computer.
Oh my God, guys! Let me tell you, more content is coming. Let's put it this way: more content is coming as fast as I can do it. Just because like energy is always a factor. Like, so work has picked up like hella picked up. Normally I get like 10 stops. They're now putting me on 10 to 16 or 14 to 16 stops. So yeah, my days have definitely got a lot longer. Plus, like, people, ants, summertime. I know those are. I know I'm just kind of saying words all at the same time, but it's
it makes
true.
Sense.
Problem. So yeah, we're definitely trying to get it out. But with the new computer, I'm able to actually like edit more clips are coming. Trust me, believe that.
A quick thing. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt for a second. Quick thing you guys should all have probably realized by now, but we have gone down from twice a week to once a week. We realized that was kind of an overstretch on our side, and we wanted to be able to stay consistent for you all, so you all know when to come to expect the new one. So you'll be getting them Sunday evenings, just in time for either to close out a great weekend or start a new week.
It just feels a little bit easier right now, just because like in the beginning, whenever we started this podcast, it was more over like we had a whole bunch of time. And now that things have definitely picked up for both of us, obviously it's getting harder and harder, but we at least want to still make sure that all the quality, all the value that you're getting here stays at a, all time high. So Once again, it's just thank you guys for listening. But other than that, just kind of like, finish out with me. Like, thankfully, with the new computer, everything's going swell. Work is going well. Investments are they're still doing their own thing. So when I have
They're still investments.
Yeah, they're still investments. Nothing new to chat about. I finally finished the Poor Charlie's Almanac. Thank God. I didn't think I was ever going to finish that thing. Girl, that thing was like literally almost like 8 to 9 hours. So
Jeez.
yeah, finally done.
Thing.
It was I kind of see why. It's just because Charlie Munger does never like end up in books. So whenever he actually has a book that he like puts his like effort into, that's the only one, and they made it that long. So I might as well go ahead and start. Like this, I feel like everybody knows about this, but it's a little bit
awkward.
Yeah, actually awkward sometimes for both parties, depending on the mood and the vibe of the situation.
And your comfort level with this thing.
Oh yeah, there's so much that goes into this one, but tonight we're definitely going to be talking about phone sex, begging, erotic talk, and dirty talk.
Yes.
Coco, we gonna start with the article then?
Yeah, I think we should start with this one here. It's from the Good Men Project. It's how to be more vocal during sex. They have a couple, I guess, bullet points. They have a couple points to like help you be more vocal, and I figure we can tell them what the point is. We can tell them our opinion on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, agreed.
Especially when you're beginning dirty talk or you're beginning to beg, like it feels really awkward. And you're like, and I know for me, like I get in my head, I'm like, well, what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if I say something that takes us out of the mood? Well, if that happens, then you guys laugh about it and you find a different mood.
Right.
If saying something wrong, if trying to talk dirty and it comes out wrong is what ruins your sex, you have something else wrong in your sex life.
Yeah, agreed.
You should be able to laugh with your partner and be like, yeah, that one was messed up. That didn't work. Let's continue. So, but so their first, like I said, this is from the Good Men Project. No, I didn't go searching. I found this one, and no, I didn't go searching for the Good Men Project. Just as an article that popped up, and it was really well written. So their first thing is they suggest that you start alone. This gets you like, it like lets you just. Here's the thing: if it's going to be awkward, like more awkward with somebody else, trying it with yourself first is going to help, because once you're comfortable, because if you do it by yourself, nobody is watching. It's just you. If you mess up, quote unquote mess up, then okay, you messed up. You can laugh at yourself. Nobody else is going to be offended. Nobody else is going to be weirded out by what you said. You can be like, oh yeah, I didn't like that. Try something else. They also suggest that you just start with, because I feel like a lot of people think they have to like stifle all noise because there's so-and-so in the next room, or you're in an apartment, so there's neighbors or whatever. Just start with some moans and some sighs, and then work your way up to words. They suggest simple statements and things like that feel so good right there. Like the only person you can offend is yourself, and you're not going to say something that offends you.
Yeah, very true. It's, I think like everybody kind of starts quiet and then starts getting a little bit more vocal. Like one of the YouTubers that I watch, he always calls it like, whatever, or the story is whenever you're younger and like, let's say you're like with a partner. I know this is kind of like, it goes hand in hand, trust me. So, you start out with like a partner and like, let's say like, you're having, this is, I guess whenever you're younger, you're having sex at like your parents' house or something. And, you can only kind of be so quiet, you can just kind of do your little thing. You might hear a little small moan, whatever it is. But then, whenever, you grow up and then you get a chick back to your own place or whatever it is, and you can finally like let it out, you're like, roar is what he said, basically.
Yeah.
It's essentially almost the same thing where it's, obviously you have to work your way up to it. Cause I'm sure, once again, you wouldn't be roaring like that, anyway, but, it's kind of the same thing. I feel like in this case where whenever you kind of start it, obviously like you got to start small before you start, saying things, loud or even louder, you get a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Get a little bit more, vocal, I guess, with it. Yeah. Extremely vocal with it.
Yeah. It's super freeing to have that realization of like, oh, I can be loud I don't have to try to stifle this. So if I want to like be super loud and moan really loud because it feels really fucking good, then I can do that. It's really freeing. And then from that point, it's really hard to like put the voice back in the pillowcase.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure sometimes, like, even, some dudes, I guess it's just a natural thing. Like, you'll moan or whatever. If you're like watching porn, maybe something will like pop out and be like, oh, yeah, take that. Something like that. Like, just little small things that you don't even notice that you're saying. That's kind of like the same thing. But yeah, start alone. Obviously, it's only going to sound weird if you make it weird. So there we go. So the second one, obviously, well, not even obviously, it's welcome weirdness. Man, I feel like this could take so many paths only because like, and not even just welcoming weirdness, you have to embrace it at some point too. So, I mean, you can welcome all the weird stuff you want, but you can also throw it out or throw it in the back burner as well. But if you're going to embrace it, like, fully embrace it, because some partners aren't going to be as vocal as you, and other partners will definitely surprise you.
Well, I don't know, like some of your partners may not want the vocal. Like it may, not want it, but like it may do nothing for them. And for others, it may like rev that engine way high.
Yep.
But it is, like I said before, it can be awkward and it can be weird, especially if you're trying to do this by yourself for a while. You're going to start saying things, and it says in here that you're not going to stand out like a porn star overnight. And it's true. Not that that has to be your goal, but not everyone is going to want to be at that level. So, and like I said, some of the things that are going to come out of your mouth, you're going to be like, what the fuck did I just say? Right. You're going to laugh it off. And then you're going to be like, okay, that one's never coming out of my mouth again. And you move on. There's been sometimes I've said some things and I'm like, that sounded way better in my head than it did out loud. We're just going to move on from that.
Oh my God. I mean, that's got all of us too. Like, you said it and you're like, all right, I'm definitely not going to say that one again.
It's a lot of trial and error.
Agreed.
Just like a lot of sex.
A lot of sex is trial.
It's trial and error.
Or, it's the funny things whenever like people like talk dirty to me. And then people like stop, like it's like a deer in the headlights and they don't know what to say. And I've never done this before. Never. Oh, okay.
Well, that leads us into our next point. Like, tell them what you want. Add your partner in. Tell them what you like. Like that. That's a super simple way to start talking dirty. Like, oh, that feels good. I like it. Oh, right there. That's my clit. Like, can I say that on Spotify? Are we gonna get kicked off?
Nah. You're speaking body parts.
No, I am. That is my clitoris. Like tell them what you like. Tell them, you can give them directions, like faster, slower, harder. Oh, right there. Just continue. Like it's a good starting place. And from there you can build bridges.
I think everybody, I think that's a big thing for everybody. I feel like everybody, if you're going to start sex, that should be something that's a guarantee. You should at least, if you don't tell them everything, at least tell them something. So at least you make it enjoyable. So then that way, whenever you walk away from the situation, you can't be like, oh, they didn't do anything that I liked. You never told them what you liked.
You never told them what you liked.
So, that happens more times than you know. So, don't be afraid to just speak up about what you like. And that's why they say start alone, because starting alone, you can find out what you like. So whenever somebody, you get with somebody, be like, all right, can you do it this way? Because I know it's more pleasurable that way.
Exactly. Well, and especially on that note, like for the females, like the pressure and the way you like yourself stimulated is going to be different from person to person to person. Do you like direct stimulation? Do you like it just above? Do you like fingering? Do you like vibrations? What do you like that's going to get you off? You have to be able to tell your partner that, and you have to be able to tell your partner where it feels good and where it's just like, yeah, that's like you're rubbing my knee. It does nothing for me. Unless that's your kink, but
it's almost like whenever you're, or at least this is how it kind of feels nowadays. Like whenever you're with like a partner or like a new partner, it's almost like they want you to figure it out. Bitches say no puzzle. We about to
no guessing game,
right? Like say for real. Like if we're gonna do this thing, like let's do this thing. Like I'm gonna talk to you. Like I'm gonna do things. Be like, do you like it this way? Do you like it this way? I know, like eventually, if you don't say anything, people are just gonna stop asking, and then they're just gonna be like, then there's nothing to really build upon. Because if you're telling the person, hey, I like this, and then this person blows your expectations out the water, well, it's a good thing you told them, what you liked. Because then it's like, you're building on that experience, obviously if you want to keep them as a partner or in a dynamic, whatever it is. But I think it just helps. It helps to build trust in bed as well. Just because if this person is being that vocal with you, then obviously they're vocal in other areas, hopefully. But
exactly. Well, and I heard it may have actually been from a TikTok. There's been some TikToks lately. But basically, like, if all you're getting is enthusiastic consent, like that should be the bare minimum. You should have active participation in it as well. Because enthusiastic consent, like, fuck yeah, get that shit. But then who wants to have sex with a floppy fish on either side? Or like who wants who wants a plank, who wants a floppy fish, there are people out there who want a princess in bed where the other person does everything to the princess for them,
or a doll.
Yeah. But most people want that enthusiastic consent and that enthusiastic active participation. This is a two-way road. There's a reason that the saying is it takes two to tango.
No, it's true. Enthusiastic. I mean, that should already tell you a lot about the sex anyway, because if the person's not very enthusiastic, you already know the sex is probably lackluster. But everybody wants enthusiastic sex. You gotta talk,
Yeah.
So
it makes things way better.
The second, or what is it? The fourth one, I guess technically.
I think this is the fourth one.
Ooh, taking things to the extreme. Okay. I'm kind of taking this both ways because there's like degradation in there, and then there's just regular like I'm gonna throw my shit at your face or something like that. Or I guess in this case there's an old school movie by the Wayans brothers. It was called Scary Movie. I think we all kind of remember it. But,
never seen it.
Oh really? Well, I think it was Scary Movie 2.
I've never seen that one either.
Was the episode where they're basically in the castle. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is one of the Wayans brothers was having sex with this chick, and he was like laying on the bed while she's like riding him, and he's like, "Talk dirty to me, talk dirty," and she's like, "Yo, I'm a piss in your mouth. I'm a shit on these walls," and that's basically the same thing. Where that's a little extreme. Like
it's a little extreme. It is a little extreme, and if that's your thing, if you're into that kind of play, by all means, make that your dirty talk.
Yeah, right.
But
it's a little extreme. Let's be real.
It is a little extreme, and not everybody plays with those things, which is okay.
I mean, I feel like that's 80% of people's hard limits right there. So,
but what they're talking about in here is like the bedroom's your safe place, so you can go as crazy with that sexy talk as you want without feeling fear about being rejected or embarrassed or guilty over saying those things. So if like both from your partner and from yourself, because I know a lot of people will say things and then feel guilty that they said them or embarrassed. So like if you want to be called a dirty whore or a little slut or have all of these fantasy role plays that you get into that are all dirty and steamy, like school girl and teacher, or I know nun and priest is another really popular one. But like you should be able to express those things both outside of sex and then be able to be safe enough to express those things during sex as you're doing these scenes and having this sex.
You basically summed it up. Obviously if you got names that you like being called, or some good names obviously and some bad names, definitely let them know. But even just kind of going back to the first one, like just don't be ashamed. Like if that's what you like being called, it's what you like being called. So
and I mean, who was that was saying, where else did I hear this? I don't think this one was a TikTok, but like if you and your partner are trying to expand on your dirty talk and he asks who's his little slut or who's their little slut, and you're like, nope, that one doesn't do it for me. Okay, yep. Great. Put it in the don't say it again book and continue on.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
So I mean, like I said, like once you start talking to your partner, they'll definitely tell you what you can and can't say, and then sometimes you can just try things new depending on how hot the mood is. So just trial and error.
Exactly. That one. So that's kind of how to start becoming more comfortable in being vocal. And from there you can do all sorts of things. You can do phone sex, you can do sexting. Not everybody is into that, and that's totally okay. Sexting does nothing for me, personally, but I know other people who really like it.
Yeah, same here. Sexting is like, I don't know. Sexting is almost like a tease. Um, I guess depending on the situation that you're in, of course, but I think sexting, honestly, like I guess it works for like long distance relationships because it makes things enticing. But you're like, no, it don't.
Well, no, I just like we didn't. Master and I were long distance for years, and we didn't do a whole lot of sexting.
The sexting thing. Yeah, like I don't know. Like I feel like it's almost like a tease. Like if a chick wants you to come over, or or a dude in your case, like, bro, they'll just tell you. You don't have to send me. You don't have to send me sexy messages to say, hey, I'm coming over.
Now, does that mean I don't like to send a sexy photo? No, I do still like to send really sexy photos.
But it's not like a.
But it's not like I'm gonna send you this sexy photo so you can tell me what you want to do with me in a text, because that does nothing for me.
Right.
So
I'd be like, look what I bought, or look at these. That's okay. That's one thing. But anything else is a little bit odd.
That's how to be more vocal. And now this other other article that we have, it kind of talks about phone sex. A lot of people are like, oh, phone sex isn't real. Like, yes, it's mutual masturbation, but that's still a form of sexual contact. It's still a form of sexual pleasure. So it can still be super hot and sexy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, okay, are we going phone sex like just like the voice portion, or are we technically taking in the like OnlyFans? Because if you want to get technical, it is kind of like a video voice if you want to be real about it. Only because the person isn't actually there, right? And basically everything is done wirelessly, just like a phone. So I would almost kind of put this into the same category for the most part.
I feel like they are the same and they aren't the same, because for OnlyFans, like, you're like, yes, it's still a voice audio, but I feel like, well, when it's something you've paid for and it's not normally a live conversation, it's normally, at least to my knowledge, it's normally something that's pre-recorded. So I find that more like audio porn rather than like phone sex.
Gotcha. Instead of the person there in the act.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's live, but
yeah. So I guess that, I guess in that case, I didn't know that they did it live. Then yeah, in that case, I would say that that would be considered phone sex.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's because I kind of like started reading the article a little bit, but in here it says the sound of someone's voice and moans can be seriously arousing. Well, it kind of works, I guess it's differently because you can see it. I think voice, and you can tell me if I'm wrong too, and this is just kind of like my personal assumption, but I think voice works better for women, whereas visuals obviously work better for men.
No, I think that's true. And I think you can't quote me on it because I don't remember for sure. I think I actually saw, and I don't know if it was an article or a study saying something along those same lines, that men are much more visual and women aren't as visual as men for sexual things. I don't know if that's true for everybody. I do find it more true in my case that, like, yeah, I'd rather like hear something sexy than see something sexy most of the time. Well, do I still enjoy seeing sexy things? Yeah,
we all do.
Yeah,
and we all enjoy hearing dirty things too. So, but no, like I feel like if we're extending phone sex to like OnlyFans, I can kind of like see it. Like, okay, I can see you get like a little bit aroused because at least then you can see your partner or see whoever it is that you wanted to see. Because obviously, like I said, you're not next to each other, but you can still have a good time because they can see you masturbate or whatever it is, and you can see them. But over the voice and like even like the voice calling, for the phone sex, like true phone sex, like in quotations, of course. Um, I feel like you have to be a very like you have to have a very good imagination in order for that to be a thing, because just hearing somebody's voice, like, it's like, okay, somebody has a pleasant voice or somebody has a sexy voice, but you don't know how they look, so you're having to like visualize it like in your head, so it's almost like more of a mental takeover once you're hearing it, you know.
Well, and yeah, I would say that's true. And even like you can know how your partner looks, but if they're describing what they want to do to you, like you have to be able to have the imagination to imagine they're doing that. And I mean, yes, their hands and their tongues and whatever isn't there for you, but you can use your own hands. And then you have to imagine, again, at that point, you imagine that they're theirs. So it can be phone sex or like video phone sex, can be very, very arousing, and it can be very pleasing for both parties. Remember to, as always, for phone sex, for whatever, make sure you ask for consent. And I would strongly suggest, they call it a temperature check. Like bring it up to somebody, because if you just call somebody and be like, hey sexy, I want to do X, Y, and Z, like who says you're not on speakerphone and their mom's not sitting in the room? I've had a friend do that.
Oh no.
I've had a friend do that.
I can't imagine. Like I already say wild and outlandish things like to my mother. I can't imagine her walking in on some shit like that. So
yeah. So do a temperature check. Find out what they're doing. Are they hanging out with their parents? Are they like at a mall where, yeah, some of that might be okay because you both enjoy it? Or are they sitting in bed? Are they alone? Are they with somebody? Like you need to kind of do that temperature check and have that consent to do it.
Agreed.
So, yes.
They call it testing the waters,
Yeah, exactly. Test the water. See, dip your toe in before you go full naked.
This one just kind of elaborates on it. So it says ask consent before a specific sex session too. I guess whatever your kinks are, if they're a little bit more extreme, obviously ask for a little bit more consent than just regular phone sex. So
exactly, you want to make sure that, again, that you're on the same page for this sex session. You're both having the same understanding of what's going to happen, whether this be, and this is something you need to do for all sex sessions, whether it's in person or over the phone or over a video or sexting.
No, agreed. And it's kind of funny that you were in the middle of talking about it and then scrolled right to it where it says touch base about language. Like, so it says, never is language quite so important than when your nose deep in your partner's fold, and you get the point. So,
yeah. And again, this goes back to the whole, if your partner calls you like a little whore and you don't like that, like you need to, if you know about that beforehand, you need to be able to voice that and make sure they know that you're not into that, or you're not into that right now and you want something else, or like, again, so you want to make sure that, going back to way back to shout out to, I think it's like the first or second episode, when we were talking about my friend who calls her tits her kitties. You want to make sure you're on the same page about what you're calling each body part as well, because again, most people don't call their tits kitty.
True.
So do you have a negative association with some of the words that are used? Like, you want share what you like and have them share what they like as well. It definitely helps. Makes the process smoother, even if it feels a little awkward in the beginning. And honestly, if it feels awkward in the beginning, it means you need to do some more negotiation before you have sex.
True. 100%.
So they suggest, this article, I don't ever think we said, this one's from Healthline. This one's called How to Have Phone Sex, and Language to Use. So in here, they tell you, have that conversation with it, but also look to your partner for language cues. Like if your partner gives you like a non-answer to the things above when you ask what they like, there's an alternative. Like listen to how they reference their body. You're gonna know if you really think about it. So keep track of those, and then you can start using them, and they'll appreciate it.
Kind of the same thing. Familiarize yourself with the lingo of lovemaking. So essentially the same thing you were talking about.
Yeah. They suggest there's a sexting robot. Yes, it definitely exists. I kind of want to download it just to see what it's like. But there's a relationship and sex app called Juicebox. And they released a feature called Slutbox, which allows you to sharpen your dirty talk skills, or just have some fun if you're lonely and feeling horny.
Bro, I might have to make a video on it. Like, I might have to make a video on it.
So they say that you answer a couple questions about your gender, sexual preferences, and then things get rolling. So that's one way to do it. You can read erotica or watch porn. This one gives you, I haven't read any of these yet. They're on my list actually.
The Boss, The Club, No Limits, Diary of a Submissive, the Hacker series, and the To Italy with Love. I might have to add that one.
Yes. So they are, again, I haven't read them. I've heard about some of them, but there are some suggestions beyond 50 Shades of Grey. Because let's be honest, most people in the BDSM community and in the lifestyle really shit on 50 Shades of Grey because it is not well done. It doesn't follow the 4 pillars. There's no real continuous vetting. There's no vetting. But there's some negotiation. We'll get into this later. Anyways, so these are some other suggestions beyond 50 Shades of Grey. So you can read them, you can listen to them, listen to erotica, listen to porn. Yes, you can watch porn, but really listen to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes a difference. And then just set the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like turn off your other technology, like be in a comfortable space. If that means you clean your room and you make your bed, great. If that means you like lay out on the couch surrounded by a bunch of blankets and chip bags, fine. But whatever makes it for you. And then if you have any toys, keep them close. Like put some tunes on, like light some candles, like set the mood as if you were gonna have in-person sex, and then just get started.
Yep. Solo, or in this case, if you're with your partner, y'all can, mutually masturbate, and y'all can kind of start that way, But even on here, it says phone sex doesn't have to be, elaborate. Phone sex doesn't have to be, I guess I should say elaborative. Says story. Listening to the sounds of moans of the other person's moaning can be arousing without much other talking. So I guess that's another way. So that's, what is that, auditory more than anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. Like tell your partner what you're doing. Like they suggest reliving a previous romp. Like,
oh
yeah, especially if you had a good one. Like
for Saturday
fantasy. Like ask questions about what the other person is. They suggest, will you tell me what you thought about the last time you masturbated? What was the hottest sexual experience you've ever had? And the classic, what are you wearing right now? Just relax, don't rush it, laugh if it gets awkward. Like laughter means you're comfortable with each other. Be you. Like if there's a lull in the conversation, you can start moaning. You can use this time to like tell your partner what you're doing to yourself or what you wish you were doing to them. If it's not working, that's fine. Be like, you know what? I really thought I'd like this tonight, but I'm just not in the mood. Can we try XYZ? Can we do this instead? Or like if you're feeling the mood, but just not the direction of where it's going, tell them that. And if you're not feeling the mood, then that's fine. Tell them that too. Like worst case is you're going to get some blue balls, which sucks. I know it does. I've heard enough about it to know that it sucks, but a case of blue balls isn't going to kill you.
Yeah.
Even if it feels like it. Maybe that sounds unsympathetic.
You win some, you lose some. You just got to take a loss sometimes.
That's true. And then, like we kind of talked about before, you can make it a video chat rather than just a phone call. Like sometimes seeing the body helps.
And I guess we can kind of go, since we're technically here in phone sex, kind of talk about like there's other ways to send photos and do things. Some people use Snapchat. Obviously just because it's, there's a timing on the photos and, they just kind of go out the way. Or some people just, send them through text, or, in other cases, you might be able to do something through FetLife, or, maybe some of the other outlets for more sexually erotic things.
Exactly.
But there's different ways to, get it out. And I would say get your fix is this way to put it.
Yes. Quick thing for anybody who receives those naughty photos. Those are meant, just a reminder, those are meant specifically for you. Do not share those, whether your relationship has ended or not, whether the other person became a fucking psycho or not. Those are not meant to be shared without the other person's permission. They were meant for you. They trusted you with them. Don't fuck that shit up.
Mm-hmm. It's the fastest way to lose somebody's trust.
Exactly. So this last article that we have, we'll just go through it really quick. If you're stuck on what to say, like this one says 8 things. This one's called What to Say During Sex, 8 Things Every Man Wants to Hear in Bed. But I'm going to change that article title, 8 Things Everyone Wants to Hear in Bed.
Yeah, true.
This shit is sexy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously there's more dirty things that we could say, but these are definitely the 8 that
this article suggests.
Yeah,
there's more. So tell them you're coming.
Oh.
Let them know that they have done their job and they have got you off.
Girl, I'm about to bust. I'm about to spray everywhere. About to pull out whatever you gotta say. Same with her. If she's about to go, I'm about to have an orgasm, I'm about to come there. Whatever you gotta say, girl, come on with it.
You let them know. Say their name. Say it often.
But don't say it too often because it starts getting a little weird.
There's a little balance. There's a balance, but say it often enough that they know you remember their name, but not so often that you think that they're saying your name so they remember your name.
Oh, true.
There's a difference. Tell them to keep going.
Ooh.
Tell them to keep going because right there is really good.
Yeah.
Right there. Don't stop.
That's one of those things where if it's working for you, you got, once again, let them know right there. So tell them keep going.
Exactly. Tell them I love it when you go down on me. And tell them why. Tell them what you love about that.
I like that thing you're doing with your tongue.
Yes. Tell them your thing is so big. And if you're having girl on girl, tell them their strap-on's big. That's hot too.
Mm-hmm. Tell them they're getting wet. If you got the JJ, just tell them, it's getting wet, or, it's calling your name, or whatever you guys say.
Let them know you enjoy their parts. Tell them this is the best sex I've ever had.
This can go a couple ways. It could be the best scenario of sex, or maybe they did or maybe a specific thing they did was the best you ever had. So maybe
don't throw that around nilly-willy.
Oh yeah.
You need to say it and mean it.
Exactly.
But it's also sexy when you hear it.
And this is after you tell them, of course, what you like to make it easier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's a good one. This one happens a lot for me because I don't like to make choices. Today's your day. Do whatever you want to. You're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Let them choose.
Top and bottom goes both ways. Like,
exactly.
Hey, sometimes you're the top and you really don't want to do shit. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes you really just kind of want to lay there and be like, girl, go to work. But
mm-hmm. And then the last one they suggest, tell them, I want to give you a blowjob. I want to eat you out. Anything like that. Like, let them know, like, I want to pleasure you.
I want to take your mouth. I want to take your ass. I want to take, whatever it is, whatever your fancy is. But also be, of course, like very like, what is it? Concise and, the word isn't affirmative, but it's assertive. There we go.
There you go.
Thank
That's a
you.
good one.
Oh my God.
And then we don't really have an article for begging per se, but a great way to start with begging is please.
Please. Or, I
Please.
mean, a little orgasm denial, which we kind of, I guess, did we
Yes.
touch on that a couple episodes ago?
We touched on orgasm denial a couple episodes ago. Yeah. So some begging is like, please, like, can I do this? Can I do that? Tell them what you want. And then beg and nice pleases. And if they want you to keep going, you can start promising things. I'll suck your cock if I can do that. I'll do this if I can do that. I'll do that if you will do this for me. Like, but please is a really good place to start.
And then, you know, you can start kind of making it, you know, just adding it in different places. Like, you know, even if they really want something, like if she wants to, you know, have an orgasm, tell them, you know, you got to wait, you know, little things like that to start, you know, or, you know, you could tell them beg for it, you know, something like that. So there's different ways to kind of add it into the dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. There's different places to add it in. There's different ways to add it in. But yeah, begging is really just erotic talk. It's really just dirty talk. But if you're at a loss for it, just start with pleases.
I mean, just kind of start, you know, dirty talking like it. Even if it's not something that you do often, it's still nice to have in your arsenal.
Yes, and it gets a lot easier as you go along.
It does. Certain things just sound hot to both parties. So, you know, it's just one of those natural things, just trial and error, of course.
True. And the more you vet and negotiate and know your partner, the easier it is it's going to be to talk dirty or to beg or to, because begging, you're appealing to their whichever side, top side, bottom side, whatever, of their mercy, of giving you pleasure, giving you sex, giving you an orgasm, whatever it may be.
Just add it, like I said, just add it to the arsenal. You'd be surprised how in many places it works.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. So well, Coco, any last remarks, boo-boo?
Just a reminder, give it a shot. It's gonna be awkward. You're gonna laugh at it. It's fine. Your bedroom or your sex space should be a safe space for you to be able to try these things out. And if you and your partner laugh at it, then you and your partner laugh at it. You know that those words aren't going to happen again, or you need to say it in a different way. It's not going to ruin it's not the end of the world.
Yep.
If you say something weird during sex.
It's true. It's just, I feel like that just kind of builds confidence, but also, you know, like we said earlier, it builds trust. So yeah. Trust me, it takes a lot to get those dirty words out sometimes.
But it gets better.
It does.
And it's so much worth it. Any last I can't talk now. Any last remarks for you, Edwin?
I think with this one, it's one of those, honestly, I've seen how it works, and I would like to ask everybody add it to their repertoire, just of anytime that you're going to have sex, maybe not necessarily alone, but I would say definitely if you're with like a partner and it's one that you've had, you know, decently long time, or maybe it's one that you're very familiar with, you know, definitely do those things. Like it makes, I mean, sometimes if you're looking for like, you know, a quickie, you know, you'd be surprised how well your words work. Or, you know, maybe you're on the way back from, you know, a night out and, you know, you just kind of whisper in her ear, like, just wait until we get back to the house. Make sure you wear no panties, you know, something like that. Like, you know, you'd be surprised. It just kind of puts something in the air to kind of get them starting to be aroused. So there's different ways you can work it in, not just during sex. You can do it outside of sex. You can do it, you know,
foreplay.
Right. Foreplay, whatever. Yep. We were talking about that too. So anyway, I just want to say, just make sure it is something that you don't look over. That's all I was gonna.
Exactly. I know a lot of quote unquote vanilla people use it, but it's still a kink. It's still sexy. You can still rock it, and a lot of people enjoy it. So give it a shot.
Agreed. Well, Holy cow, Coco! It's man. This is. I feel like we're. It's been so long since we've done an episode, but not at the same time. Like
I know.
Man, this definitely feels like we're at home again. So
It does. It does. Do you want to do shameless plugs?
Oh man, I always love them shameless plugs, guys.
Yes.
Like, man, y'all can find us everywhere. We're at DarkSideAdventures. Golly, DarkSideAdventures on Twitter. If you need us, we're also on, well, soon to be on TikTok, so look out for those videos. But man, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Podbean, just honestly, just different places now. Am I forgetting any? Am I forgetting any plugs? Like I said, Podbean.
I don't think so. Podbean, Spotify. We're on Reddit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Reddit's a big one.
Yes, find us at Dark Side Adventures on those.
And then if you have any questions, concerns, you got topics, you just want to talk, you want to send us any like information on, obviously hell being on the show, you can just reach us at our darksideadventures@gmail.com. So as always, man, we love doing this for you guys. I'm glad we made it to episode 18, but I am your host, or we are your host. Excuse me. It's not about me.
Not just you this time.
Right. We are your host. I am Edwin.
I'm Coco. This has been Dark Side Adventures, episode 18.
Definitely. We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
Bye.